Perfect timing. Look at this video right here. I saw this video. So this is very interesting right here. The same people, complaining about men being violent, men being this, men being that, blah, blah, blah. Now watch this video right here. Watch this video.
We both have the same type of man. Like, we like a nasty fucker.
We like a fucking criminal. Like, straight up someone who is so visibly violent. That is our type.
Like, someone that if we bring them home to our parents or show them to our friends, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do they have gold teeth?
You should never even have approached that man in the first place. That is someone who will lead you into a violent and tragic death. And Natalie and I
They're gonna kill your dog. They're gonna kill your dog.
They're gonna kill or fuck your dog. And Natalie and I are like, hot, hot, hot.
We both have the same type of man. Like, we like.
This is why dudes are stepping away, because I think dudes are finally realizing, like, oh, they're just, they complain about their problems, but they cause their own problems so they can just complain about them later. I will say that's most women. That's most women. But I'll say, especially you're talking about American women, particularly women that live in first world countries, they create their own problems so they can complain about them. Because if they actually were to live their life in order and actually have a plan to do certain things a certain way, there's nothing to complain about. But at the same time, that means all the accountability comes back to them because they have to live a certain way. This is why they will do things like go out with a violent criminal, go out with a drug dealer, stay in a so-called abusive relationship, right? Pick a dude that they know good and damn well is not good for them. They know, but in their mind, they're getting all the perks. They get none of the responsibility. He gets all the blame. Things go wrong. She doesn't have to be held accountable. And on top of that, they can play the perfect victim. In a woman's mind, that's a win-win for her. Instead of just avoiding that situation altogether by picking a more stable human being. Now, I will say this. I hope this is a skit. Let me see. Homath had reposted this video. He said, these women are trash, but all people who never grow up are trash, and people are not growing up anymore. People think that women learn behavior like this. Nope, they're born with it. Only some of them unlearn it if they had a good upbringing. These tramps didn't. The current generation of 20-somethings is the least mature generation since pre-agriculture. Going to be a rough time, boys. Mind you, I believe this is true. I think this is the least mature generation. Gen Z is the least mature generation. We're the slowest to grow up. And this is like men and women. So I do agree with that. But especially when you're talking about the women, this is why when they hit the wall, or once they hit that proverbial wall, it's going to be the hardest. It's going to be the hardest for Gen Z to cope. Once they finally hit that wall, it's going to be the hardest for Gen Z women to cope. Particularly the ones that didn't really have a plan, especially if a man was never part of the plan, which is most Gen Z women. So yeah, this is true. But also look at all the damn tattoos. Golly. Now, mind you, I already know this bitch. This is not no trailer park trash. She grew up in the suburbs. Both of these hoes, they grew up in the suburbs.
We both have the same type of man. Like, we like a nasty fucker.
We like a fucking criminal. Like, straight up.
She goes, hold on.
Someone who is so visibly violent. That is our type.
But I've already said this, for the longest. I've said that for the longest. This is why he needs to be tall, dangerous. He needs to be tatted up and all this stuff. And I've tried to tell dudes, don't become that to attract women, because low key that's a trap. Because if something goes wrong, all she has to do is point at you. And most normies will fall for it. I'm talking about men and women. They're going to look at you, and you decided to give yourself tattoos or get a motorcycle or et cetera, just to attract women. I'm not saying not to get these things, but if you doing this just to attract women, that's gonna backfire. Once they point that finger at you, once they done with you, or they want to see you get in trouble, all they got to do is point at you, and you sitting there looking dangerous. Right? It happens to ninjas all the time. They point at the ninja. Police goes at him with a different type of energy, right? BWs have mastered the art of that. White women have mastered the art of that, right? Point at the ninja. Something gonna happen to him. So don't try to make yourself look dangerous in terms of getting tattoos and et cetera, et cetera. Don't do these things to get women. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Because I think that's a trap. I think that's just and they have a fetish that they want to fulfill, and they're just using you for that.
Like someone that if we bring them home to our parents or show them to our friends, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do they have gold teeth?
You should never even have approached that man in the first place. That is someone who will lead you into a violent and tragic death. And Natalie and I
They're gonna kill your dog. They're gonna kill your dog.
They're gonna kill or fuck your dog.
She's projecting right there. Anyways.
And Natalie and I are like, hot.
But yeah, this is, I will say, this is most people. I'm not gonna say most in terms of like 80%, but this is 60 to 70%. This is what they want, you know. The other ones that don't want that, it's rare, and then you have a certain percentage. The reason why they don't want that is because they had that already, or they seen that already, but they directly had an experience with that, and they're just like, I do not want a man like that, right? But that woman is scarred too. Okay. But yeah, I was like, damn, speaking of which, because I know that other broad that I showed you, that other broad that I showed you, Brenda Times, whatever her name is, Finest. I'm pretty sure that's her. Those are the type of men she's having sex with. I can damn near guarantee it. I can damn near guarantee it. She is not sleeping with nerds like her, because if she was, she would not be making videos like that. I promise you. I promise you, man.